It's a day of download pours. So here, I'm going to share a part of my Discover the Gifts of Your Disempowered Self, my book. And this is how, like, in here, there's like graphics of what loving yourself actually looks like, and a full description, and actually examples. So because I was like, okay, maybe a lot of people need a visual, because we all we tap into different senses that we have. So what does loving yourself actually look like, and what does that actually mean? It's far beyond going for that manicure and pedicure, taking that bubble bath, having that walk. That's all meditative stuff. That's all stuff to like center yourself and come. But loving yourself looks completely different. It really goes deep inside. So as I mentioned in the timeline video, we have a huge timeline. God, do I have to pick up that picture again? Forget it. There's like this huge timeline that we jump from one being to the next, and all these pockets of energy show up within you all the time. And these are the pockets of energy that you feel emotions with, but maybe you can't even track where they're coming from. So in my book, there's a whole chapter on something called the God Compass, which is what I call the body. And this book, look how thick this book is. This book just was written in the span of 2 weeks. I just couldn't stop. It was just in the span of 2 weeks, filled with images and pictures that I went on Canva and had to like pour out. So within a month, this book was completely completed. And then it was just mayhem with like publishing and all that stuff. But just to let you know that there's so much information in here that is worth looking into. And the images will really help. So when you self-love, you send love to self. Okay, here, this is how so here, let me explain it this way. This is the pocket of energy that is in pain, okay? That's you you're in pain, your inner child feeling unloved. And how she shows it to you, because this is a pocket of energy, I wrote here, joint pains, which is actually what I had gone through. This pocket of energy has joint pains, right? And then you look at Lewis's, hey, description. It's like the like inability to move forward, whatever the pain is, right? If you want to go deeper into that. So she's feeling this pocket of energy appears, and you're having joint pain on your God compass, your body. It's telling you something. There's a pocket of energy that wants to speak to you. So she comes out. So you as an adult, you're feeling the body pains, and you're thinking this is yours, right? But this is her trying to get your attention, okay? So the adult is feeling unlovable, right? So the little child is feeling unlovable, and there's joint pains in your body. The adult you is feeling unlovable, and joint pains are showing up. So the pocket of energy is showing up, okay? I'm taking it step by step, okay? When this pocket of energy shows up and you're feeling the pain in your body, you don't have to be like, oh, how old was I? What was I have to go back in the memory. That's so irrelevant. It's so irrelevant. That's so much your brain trying to pinpoint something. If it comes up to you, if you're like, oh my God, that's my 6-year-old self, I've forgotten this happened. Great. If it doesn't come up, just let it go. Like, don't waste your time trying to figure out and pinpoint, how old was I when this happened? Nothing at all. Or did something happen? Like, it has to be logical. Like, did something happen for the joint pain? Did somebody bully me? Did I fall and hurt myself? Like, none of that is relevant in any way. It's just for your egoic mind to sort of calm down. But then you're going to feel the joint pain, and you're going to be like, that's a pocket of energy. You're going to call it out, okay? That's a pocket of energy that wants to speak to me. And with this joint pain, I'm feeling unlovable. So this pocket of energy is feeling unlovable, and this is how she's speaking to me right now. This is self-love, because you're pouring your attention towards you and the multitudes of pockets of energies that exist within you. That's why they say you are a universe. You are a universe, meaning you actually have all the past and all the future inside of you. Meaning we have codes in our body that are from our ancestors to make us who we are. I also have a chapter about that somewhere here. Your ancestors they live in your body, right? To make you who you are, right? And you know what? I should make another video and find the chapter for that. That's an enthralling information. It was just so divine. But you've got all this information, these codes in you. Having these codes in you from the beginning of time till now means that you have a universe inside. Then you have your own timeline with an entire universe of different yous and versions of yous that showed up. And then you have the codes of the future, like whatever you work through, whatever you release, whatever beliefs you keep, whatever you let go of, all that, the stuff you're doing are the creation of all the next generations, because you're part of this fabric, right? They're going to receive your codes for the next generation. So you have all the future generation codes within you also, right? They're going to be mixed up with other people's, but you also have the future inside of you. So when they say you are the universe, you really are. That's why pouring the light back in here is you've got so much work and insights and pockets of energies and different beings and stuff that you are healing and working through and like taking care of and loving. And all these pockets of energy, all they want is your attention, because you are alive in this present moment right now. You are the only one that can actually make a difference. You're the only one that has, like, you're like in this timeline at this moment, breathing this air with all these pockets of energy that want to speak to you and feel seen, heard, and loved by you specifically. So then what do? Recognizing your inner child. So these are images so you have an idea. So you're feeling this, you recognize, oh, that's an inner child. That's a pocket of energy that wants to speak to me. I will be okay with that. I will, if it's joint pains like I had, you just tenderly touch yourself, right? Because you're caressing her, right? You're letting her know she is loved, right? You're caressing her. And then what happens? You start to love that inner child. You love her. So this is kind of an idea so that you have a visual of it. And here I wrote, anytime in the future after I did this, I noticed my joint pains felt stiff after that. I knew my 4-year-old self, I had gotten the information that it was my 4-year-old self, was hurting and needed to be loved. I would hug myself, remember her cute face, and let her know she was loved. I would feel better right away and was able to step into my empowered self because I touched base with myself on a much deeper level, and I came to terms with my disempowered self. I accepted that a version of me is disempowered and I am cool with her. Okay, so this is the idea of doing this. And the reason this is important to understand and be very clear about is because if you can understand that the world lives within you, forget the 3D world. I know everyone's like, yeah, but the 3D world, it projects. That's a whole other topic. But for now, when it comes to self-love, the most important thing to do is this. You are like this walking universe right now. You have so many things happening. That's outside of like the blood and the cells and your organs and all of that and the skin, and that's a whole other universe that also exists around you and within you and wants to be loved and cared for, right? So when you start to care for your God compass, this is the sensory of what Divinity is talking. This is it. This is a God compass. You are like, oh, joint pains. What does that? If you want, consciously go into Lewis's Hay books and just go into it. And you're like, oh, I see, I understand. Okay, this means I'm afraid of this, right? Because you need conscious awareness if you want, okay? Or this is making me feel, and then say the word, it's making me feel unlovable. And that's like the core root. I am unlovable. That is the disempowered self. That is the disempowered self, right? Because there are different versions that show up. There's anyway, it's a whole thing I'll get into that chapter of the book also. But just understand that you have a universe to take care of here, right? A universe, and they're all trying to speak to you through the body, right? And this is one of the ways in which you can master that. And then you become fully integrated with yourself because you are a universe walking around in the present moment, given the opportunity to be very consciously aware of all these pockets of energies that want to talk and want to be seen and want to be loved by you, not by a partner, not by a parent, by you, because it's you that's here for this pocket of energy. I hope this was helpful. I hope it's making sense. Let me know if it's making sense or you need more insights. There's of course a whole bunch, but this was profound because I just I got a whole bunch of downloads there, and it was really delightful. It just added more to the information I already had. So I love you all so much, and I hope self-love is making more sense, right? More sense to you, and it looks more of like a touchy, caring part. And there's also a whole entire chapter about like the magic of the palms of your hand. Yeah, and they're like diagram. Oh, there's just so much. I keep forgetting how insightful this book is. There's like, it's basically the 4 pillars, the 4 essential pillars. Like if you get these 4 essential pillars, oh, here it is. This is what, this is, here's the image. I saw it. This is the image. Okay. Chapter 3, how our beliefs were built. This is such a cool chapter. So here, if you see, okay, you are standing here. Okay, you are this, right? You hold all these humans, right? Just an endless, you hold all their codes in here. And you will be like her or him, and you will be holding the codes of all that, and you will hold the codes of the future that is coming. So you, at this moment, in this present moment, are of vital importance to your energy and your connection back to divinity and pouring unconditional love. It's like we all want to go back to remembering unconditional love so that we know how to pour it back onto self, because we've trained so well as empaths how to pour it on everybody else. But the true cause of our existence is to be here, to pour that energy back in here, so when we leave the body, and this is so important, it came out in so many of my other videos and channelings, when you leave the body, you're going to exit the body, you're going to die. When you cease to exist and you give the body back to the earth, you're giving new codes to the earth. You're giving it new codes of love, of acceptance, of peace, of joy, of awareness, of source, of divinity, of love, of whatever it is that you have worked through, that you have shown love to. These codes, so you've changed your DNA and you've changed the coding system. That is what you're actually going to give back to the earth, so that when people start to eat from the earth, plants are growing from the earth, whatever, these codes are actually shooting out into everybody else, even if your body doesn't exist here anymore. That's the true purpose behind it. That's the true purpose we are here. If you want to know what you're here for, that's the true purpose, is to change the codes within here, so when you leave the body, which you naturally will, you're leaving it with new codes where everyone can feed off of these new codes. The earth can start to absorb these new codes as it's in its network, in its I keep seeing this. It's like net. It's a net, very deep. And it starts to change the coding of the earth itself due to what codings you provided the earth with and who you shifted into because you poured the light inwards. Making sense? Making sense, I hope. I love you all so much.